producers behind the scenes at SKOR North and 1500 ESPN have sports opinions, so they want you to hear them. It's the perfect digital sports soapbox to scratch that Minnesota sports itch. This is the SKOR North Taxi Squad.
Yes, it's time for another episode of the SKOR North Taxi Squad, available on Spotify, Apple. Give us a 5-star rating if you listen to Apple, by the way. SKORNorth.com, the SKOR North mobile app, and YouTube.com. Yes, welcome to the SKOR North Taxi Squad's debut on the SKOR North YouTube channel. My name is Jason Stormer, one of the producers here at SKOR North, joined by the usual producers that also host this program, AJ Fredrickson and Artis Woods. Guys, say hello to everybody on camera. We're on YouTube now. We've been doing this podcast for more than a year now. We've done more than 50 episodes, and we finally get our chance to be on YouTube. How does it feel, guys? I think the camera loves us. I don't know about y'all.
It feels good, man. It feels good to be seen. I feel seen. I'm looking a little rough around the edges. Need a little line up, a little shape up, Yeah. But, I'm happy to be here, man. A lot of people probably, or some, I won't say a lot, but some people probably recognize me from TikTok. Some probably recognize me from going to a couple of draft parties. And I was at the Washington Commanders game last year, too, when they had a little function there at the mall. So some of you probably recognize his face. Some of you don't. But if you don't, I'm Artis Woods. And Jason said it. I'm a producer here. I'm on Taxi Squad. You might recognize my voice. I don't know. But we're here, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's love-hate because it's great that we're expanding, but also now I feel like I have to actually look presentable when we do this. Before it was just you could just wear whatever, you could look however, and now I feel like I got to actually I got to try a little bit, not too much.
Just a little bit.
We'll see how long that lasts. We'll see how long that lasts. But
the winter, the winter season's coming up. You know what I mean? We're going to be wearing long clothes anyway, so it's it's going to be fine. It's going to be acceptable and everything. Obviously, you guys at home can wear whatever you want and everything. You guys get comfortable. You guys relax. Grab a cold beverage if you don't mind. We're all working right now, so we don't get to do that kind of thing at the moment. So if you don't mind, that'd be great. We're so excited to finally be doing this. Like we said, we've been breaking down Minnesota sports for more than a year now, and just to be on this platform is so exciting. Obviously, a lot going on right now, guys. We are finally on the precipice of week 1 of the NFL season. It is finally here. We're through with the preseason, joint practices, training camps. It is finally here. The 53-man roster is set. We know who's going to play. We're taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm so freaking excited. I know you guys are too. We're going to break down the whole game, a big preview, give you the spreads, all that good stuff. But we're going to get to the news of the right now, the biggest news going on with the Minnesota Vikings. And that right now is the looming possibility of if Justin Jefferson is going to get his contract extension in the next couple days. Obviously, this has been the big talker of the entire offseason, right, guys? We've been wondering when this is going to happen. Obviously, some other dominoes have had to fall as well. Danielle Hunter, TJ Hawkinson, before maybe this could even happen. But I think we are on the precipice because Diana Rossini, I believe she tweeted out and even wrote an article for The Athletic, basically saying that we're very close to a lot of the big deals that are still waiting to happen in the NFL. This includes Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow, also Nick Bosa, who actually just signed his new deal just a couple hours ago or something like that. But it seems, and she even used the quote, very soon in terms of a deal getting done with Justin Jefferson. So guys, even though this is kind of news of the news, we're still technically waiting on this deal getting done, but it finally seems like Justin Jefferson is probably going to get that record-setting contract for a wide receiver.
Yeah, it feels good to hear. It feels good to see. Listen, blank check. Justin, what do you want? Is that what you want? However much. I don't care. Here you go. Here's the money. He deserves it. He's the best in the NFL. We've said this 1,001 times. It's no question at this point. I don't think there's much of a conversation. You could throw other guys in the conversation. You could throw Devontae out there. You could throw Tariq Hill in there. You could throw other guys in the conversation. But Justin Jefferson is the best in the league. We've seen the progression year after year. Only been in the league a couple years, 14,000, 16,000, or 1,400, 1,600, 1,800 yards. He's sensational. He literally takes up a huge chunk of the Vikings offense from the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. Without Justin Jefferson, we wouldn't have had 13 wins this past year. That's for sure. That is for sure. So Justin Jefferson is the guy. He deserves to get paid, and I'm happy that it's happening soon.
Yeah, it's just so deserved. It's such a like easy thing to be like, yep, he's gonna get paid this amount of money. I don't think no matter what it is, I don't think anybody's gonna be like, oh, he was overpaid, blah blah blah. There's gonna be some people that say that, but they're just standing, what is it, a straw man argument where it's just like, you have to look at the actual value of the player. What he means this Vikings offense is way more than I don't know, than maybe every other person minus Kirk Cousins, just the guy that touches the ball every snap. So I can't wait to see an actual, like, I know we've seen projected numbers and we've seen how long, like 4 years, 100, whatever. I'm excited to see what the actual legit exact figures are, but more so interested by the implications of that, because there's only so much cap that you have to work with. As fake as the salary cap seems sometimes, where teams just like that, we're going to pull this $1 million and this stuff, and we're going to negate and push back these into dead cap seasons, and all of a sudden, blah blah blah, and they can just have whoever. The cap is fake, but it's also very much real, and you have to actually abide by the rules, believe it or not. So what that means for the Vikings down the road, especially in the quarterback position, the man I just referenced, Kirk Cousins, he's set to get a payday. His contract is not going to be something that is going to be a hometown discount, I would imagine, based off the previous negotiations and deals that he signed here in the Twin Cities. So what that means for him, what that means for the rest of the team moving forward, is a bridge will cross at some point, but the main thing now is just get this deal done. And it's not like he has been holding the Vikings hostage. I think that says a lot about his character and what he does. And it feels, I should say, for the franchise. It's not this is a year that he has to sign. He technically still has 2 years left on his rookie deal, but he's also been participating in training camps. He's been going through practices. He has been holding out. It's a guy who's showing up, especially in the heat that they've had here recently over the past like week and a half, potentially risking injury every time he takes the field, because if there's something that goes wrong, that's like, you're shopping for a house and all of a sudden the shingles are flying off. Like while you're evaluating it, value just drops immensely. So he's not like playing patty cake here about this. He's going out there, he's leaving it all out there in practice, and he's showing like, hey, I'm not going to let this distract me. I'm not going to let this take away from the fact that I think we have a very good team moving forward here this year, especially the offense, I should say. So credit to him there. And I think whenever it gets announced, unless it's like a 10-year, $500 million contract or whatever.
Give it to him.
$1 billion.
Honestly,
give it to him. Give it to him.
There's really no number that makes no sense. Get this guy re-signed.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Thanos said at the end of Endgame, I am inevitable, even though Iron Man kind of kicked his butt after that. Yes, this is going to happen. It's finally going to happen. Probably looking north for sure of $30 million. I'm looking at projections right now. I'm seeing like 4 years, $125 million. That'd be about $32 million per year or something like that. It's just what we got to do. He's the best wide receiver in all of football, and there's really nothing more that needs to be said about that. I mean, this guy, like AJ said, has proven to be a leader. This has never been an issue for him in the locker room. He's shown up to pretty much everything that the Vikings have required of him, and that's just fantastic that you're seeing a guy just put the team first. The most encouraging thing about all this for me is that JJ totally could wait this out, because like you guys mentioned, he's got a couple years left on his rookie deal. He could totally wait this out and see what happens with Kirk Cousins if he stays with the Vikings. And he could totally let that situation play out and then let that impact his own decision about whether he wants to stay with the team. Because if Kirk leaves and we have to draft a quarterback, I can totally see a star wide receiver thinking, maybe I don't want to stick around for the development of that. And frankly, they probably don't want to spend a ton of money right now anyway, because they're committing to a rookie scale contract for a quarterback. And so JJ totally could have just used that leverage. It was absolutely leverage, but clearly, he likes it here. He enjoys being here. I think he just sees himself in the future as a Viking, no matter really who's on the team or who is throwing him the football. And frankly, I think he's a great enough wide receiver that it's not going to ultimately matter who's going to throw him the football. JJ, I think for the rest of his career is just going to get his no matter who's going to throw him the ball. So I don't think he's afraid of losing Kirk at all. And so that is just really encouraging as a Vikings fan, that especially because, you know, we dealt with a little bit of drama with Stephon Diggs on the way out and everything like that. And JJ's obviously like been our best receiver since Stephon Diggs. And so you're just really, it's comforting as a Vikings fan that there's no drama here whatsoever. I mean, the only drama is just what that number is going to ultimately be. And we're just going to go, oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's actually wild. I don't remember. I'm sure somebody can look this up, but the last time a single team set 2 record-setting contracts, in this case, TJ Hawkinson resetting the tight end market, and ultimately, hopefully, maybe even by the time you're watching or listening to this, the JJ deal will be announced, and we have that contract too. It's just absolutely wild that this offseason is consisting both of those things, and I got to imagine if you're Kwesi, you're just kind of sitting back and you're just like, oh my gosh, that is a lot of money to commit to, you know, 2 players, obviously, but to even just make record-setting deals. Man, I got to admit, that takes guts as a GM, and I kind of like that out of Kwesi, especially because TJ was a guy that he brought in. So
it's better to get ahead of it now, though. I mean, that's the kind of the direction that the league is going in. Like, Joe Burrow is going to sign a massive contract, and so is Jamar Chase. You know, Jalen Hurts just signed a massive contract, and A.J. Brown's already under contract for, you know, a nice amount of money. Devontae Smith is going to get re-signed as well. So, you know, you think about Tua, if he has a great year, maybe he signs a big-time contract. They got to re-sign Waddle at some point. So that's kind of the direction the league is going in anyway. You got to pay your guys. Hey, everybody that re-signs is probably going to reset the market at this point. I'd rather get ahead of it if I'm the Vikings, and I'm glad that they are. Get ahead of it, because the later you wait, the more you're going to have to pay, especially for the best in the league. So I'm happy it's getting done. And like you said, no drama. It's all peachy. It's all peachy. I love it.
yeah. Peace and love. Peace and love. We love it. We can move on now to the actual preview of Week 1 with the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as Judd likes to pronounce it as the Buccaneers. I don't really know where that comes from, but I like it, and I'm going to say it just like Judd because he's our sports dad and we love him. Anyway, let's take a look at this line here. Vikings are 6-point favorites. SKOR. Over/under is about 45. Any injuries going on? Man, it is pretty much all for the Buccaneers. The Vikings have no injured players right now in the injury report, and Tampa Bay's got 4 guys that are questionable right now, but I don't recognize any of their names. I don't think they're any of the starters. Guys, again, Week 1 finally here. Baker Mayfield coming back to US Bank Stadium. I believe he did play here once when he was with the Browns, and if I remember correctly, that didn't go all that well.
I was actually at that game.
Oh, were you?
I was at that game.
Okay.
Yes, and he looked bad. That's really all I have to say. Like, he did not look great. That's, you know, to keep things light. He did not look great. And I was with, you know, throwing the ball to Odell, and Odell was open a lot, and he missed him a lot. So just want to preference the preview by saying that.
He's got some pretty good receivers, though, now with Godwin and Evans. But I believe Evans is kind of in like a contract standoff as well right now.
He is.
But he's not holding out, though, like Chris Jones or Joey or Nick Bosa were, right?
No, he's not holding out. If he doesn't play, it'll be due to injury. I did see something about a groin injury that he's dealing with. I don't know the extent of that, but I think that report may have recently changed because, like you said, he's not on the injury report anymore. He was questionable for a period of time. But, yeah, he's going through a little contract situation. This is probably his last year in Tampa Bay, and I do not blame him at all because coming from playing with Tom Brady to now Baker Mayfield, when you had basically a career with not playing with great quarterbacks, you might not want to deal with that for the latter part of your career, I would say. So I don't blame him.
No, not at all. For the game, though, I think that this is like the best possible somewhat competitive, but not overly challenging game for the Vikings. Like, this is a good Week 1 game because now they are a full year integrated into Kevin O'Connell's offense. They have like the only real like offensive question mark is TJ Hawkinson not being a full participant up until, you know, his ear infection went away. But for the most part, everything should be running on all cylinders. People have been kind of hurt here and there, but like Jason just said, I believe the only injury listed was Troy Dye today on the first official like injury report by the Vikings, but he was a full participant today after an elbow injury the other day. So they should be 100%. And I think this is going to be a good, this is a good appetizer. Like you're at Applebee's, right? These are the Mott sticks. And
yes.
there's no reason that this is going to go wrong. You're not going to overcook these bad boys. They're not going to be frozen in the middle once you bite in. This is going to be the perfect mozzarella stick because you're going to go in there. The defense should be fine. And I think that's also a key component here is it's Baker Mayfield. I don't want to be mean here, but it's Baker Mayfield. There's much more talented quarterbacks out there that they could be facing, much more talented quarterbacks that they have on their schedule here for the rest of the season. This is not one of the guys. This team is, they're gonna win some games. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think at any point anybody's gonna pick the Tampa Bay. What'd you say, Buccaneers?
Buccaneers.
I don't think anybody's picking them to make a run to the Super Bowl here. So I'm excited for week 1. I think this is a game that they're going to win. But it also could be a lose-lose because like if they could crash and burn and then everybody's in a panic mode. Granted, I don't think that's going to happen. But if they come back here and we're talking next week and we're like, okay, 0-1, there's no high road we can take. There's no silver lining. This is a game that is this the biggest, just slight spin zone here. Is this the biggest must win week 1 game of all time?
Oh, heck yeah.
Considering
the
schedule, and the fact that you got Philadelphia, you got the Chargers, you got the Chiefs and the Bears, who I think will be good, in San Francisco shortly after. You need this win. You need the games that you should win.
That was a weird progression for me, just like coasting into that thought and then just talking myself in. God, this is a must win.
You gotta win it.
They need
if you lose, I mean, this is like SpongeBob. Everybody's running downtown Bikini Bottom, and they're just like everything's on fire, burning buildings. Everything's dead. So they can't. I don't think they can lose this game because everybody's going to panic, and all of a sudden the season's over. And oh man, you shouldn't have extended Hawkinson because he didn't do this, blah, blah, blah. And like, why are we even thinking about extending JJ? He only had 80 yards and but didn't make that one catch, blah, blah, blah. And then we should have never let go of Dalvin Cook. I mean, look at the run game, blah, blah, blah. They can't lose this game. They can't. I will take an ugly win, but you have to win.
I mean, we would definitely go a little bit crazy here at SKOR North if they lose this first game. Because like you guys said, the schedule is kind of rough afterwards. Just take care of business here. I mean, if the Buccaneers are smart, they should be honestly tanking for some of these quarterbacks that are coming up in the draft. The Caleb Williams, the guy from North Carolina, forget his name. That's pretty good too. Because I don't think the Kyle Trask thing is working out. Baker's still competent. I'm not going to say he's terrible. Like, he's definitely on that fringe, like 32, 33, 34 best quarterbacks in all the league. But I don't think they have a lot of faith in Kyle Trask. So, I mean, I think, it looks like they might start shedding even more salary if Mike Evans is gone too. So that'll be that maybe for them. So I don't think there's there's a ton of motivation for this Tampa squad. And yeah, coming into US Bank Stadium, like Artis said, he was there. Baker Mayfield just didn't look good. It'll be a raucous environment, and it always is week 1, no matter if it's at noon, 3 o'clock, a night game. Week 1 at US Bank Stadium is always rocking. And so honestly, Tampa's having some offensive line issues. I feel bad. Ryan Jensen, their starting center, he's out again for this season. This is 2 straight seasons for him. He's had some awful knee troubles, and his career is definitely in jeopardy. So I would really, really love to just getting really into the nitty gritty of the game right now. I really want Danielle Hunter and Marcus Davenport to just feast in this game if possible. You still got to deal with Tristan Wirfs. I get that. I totally get that. But hopefully really go after him, and one of the other guys will be able to sneak in too. Obviously, I'm open to pretty much any pass rusher getting to the quarterback. Anybody. I am so just darn intrigued, guys, about what this defense is going to look like. I have no expectation. Well, I I have expectations, obviously, but I just don't know what to expect is what I'm trying to say. Obviously, Brian Flores is a positive influence up to this point. There's no indication that anything is going other than things are going great with him. But obviously, like, the biggest problem, I think, for the Vikings defense last year was a personnel issue. And I'm just so curious to see if those personnel issues were addressed enough, particularly with the cornerbacks. The Buccaneers have a cornerback who is a rookie in the slot that I believe is right now scheduled to start this game. And obviously, if you're a receiving core, you see a rookie cornerback out there. I mean, you start getting, your lips get juicy, and you really want to go after that guy, right? And so I know that was a weird thing I just said. I saw that face. I'm just rolling here. Whatever.
No, I like it.
But anyway, my point is, but the problem is
you
that
have to be like, you start licking your lips and your mouth.
I know, and it just
right,
mouth watering, and that came out. Whatever. Anyway,
I'm gonna start saying that wide receiver's got juicy lips with that matchup this weekend.
Juicy lips. Coined it. See, Judd's got the Buccaneers. I've got juicy lips, apparently. Anyway, as I was saying, the Buccaneers have a rookie cornerback starting. Likely, the Vikings are going to have some rookie cornerbacks or some young cornerbacks playing a lot of time, too. So the Buccaneers should be licking their lips, got it right that time, about what they might be facing in the secondary for the Minnesota Vikings. What are your guys, like, obviously, who are some players? What are some things you guys really, really want to see the Vikings able to accomplish here week one? I'm going to stop talking now.
I want to see them run the ball effectively. It's no secret. I am high on Alexander Mattison. And if there was a team, especially week one, to run the football on, it will be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their strength, honestly, is their pass defense. Their pass defense is top 10 in the NFL. The run defense isn't terrible, but it's 15th. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy there, So I would like to see them run the ball effectively. I would like to see them run the ball on early downs a lot. Todd Bowles in the last season, he tended to, not stack the box as much to stop the run because his pass defense was so bad the year before. I think they ranked 21st in the league that he's like, look, I got to stop the pass. I got to figure out a way to stop the pass. And so his premise was to stop the pass on early downs, which kind of worked to help their defense out, but then their run defense suffered a lot. And so run the football. I want them to run the football. When it comes to throwing the football, though, I do think it's going to get a little tricky because they do have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the best cornerback duos in football. And so I want to see Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison get money. I want to see them do their thing. But again, you got to be careful with Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean, which is why I think you should run the ball to kind of loosen up the pass offense a little bit. It's not, you don't have to run the ball a million times to make it happen, but just keep the defense honest. We all know this is a pass first offense. We all know that, the Minnesota Vikings don't run the ball a ton, and I'm not completely opposed to not running the ball a ton. I'm just saying, just to loosen the defense up a little bit, you need to run the ball to start this game off, because I do respect that defense. But on the opposite end, like you guys said, it's Baker, and I don't want to say that too lightly because we all know last season the Vikings made a lot of quarterbacks look like Dan Marino and Tom Brady and Jalen Hurts. But, that as long as that doesn't continue this season, they should be fine. I'm not too concerned about Baker Mayfield. I feel like they'll be fine. Brian Flores is going to bring the blitz. That is what he's known for. He's known for, blitzing and having an aggressive defense, man-to-man coverage on the outside. You got Byron Murphy now in the secondary, and he's really good with bigger receivers. So I feel like he'll give Mike Evans a tough time. At least I hope he'll give Mike Evans a tough time. It's kind of a toss-up. But overall, I feel like, when I noticed that this was the first game on the Vikings schedule, I was like, they got it. It's nothing to really worry about. I probably shouldn't have that attitude, right?
Tread cautiously, gentlemen. Tread cautiously.
They won 13 games last year. So, with this game, now I won't speak on the rest of the season yet, but with this game, if I'm a Vikings fan, I'm walking into it pretty confident that the Vikings can get it done against Tampa Bay pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. With the running game was something that I think should be like a focal point. Like at least focusing on, because we're moving out of the Dalvin Cook era now. It's officially Alexander Madison's, I don't know if he's going to be the bell cow type guy, but he's going to be the lead back here for the Vikings. And we all have expressed in past shows how high we are on him. I want him to just prove it that he not only deserves it, but has earned it and is able to carry that workload. For me, I think the offense is going to be just fine in the long run. So my number one point to actually focus on is the defense, specifically the pass rush. I am putting a figurative side bet on one TV shot of Baker Mayfield throwing a tablet after watching, because of just the rough day that Marcus Davenport and Danielle Hunter are going to give him. I want him hey, all right, Baker, they're punting. It's fourth down. Do we have to? We have to go out there again? I don't want to. I really hope that this is a Brian Flores defense that it lives up to what I've seen and what I've heard about him and everything that we've seen in the past from him. I want these crazy looks that have been reported in the in the preseason. And granted, I don't know if you need to waste them, the crazy looks on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but tease me a little bit. Show me a little bit. Show me some of the stuff that you've been working on. I want to see you get to Baker. I want to see him scrambling. I want to see him forced to make just terrible throws. And I know we don't have the best secondary anymore, but I want to see an interception. Make him throw an effort ball. Just get it up there. And I hope, the defense is the biggest thing. I want that pass rush to be just synonymous with this defense the entire season. When you think Minnesota Vikings, you're thinking whoever is there needs to be mobile. And if they're not, they're in for a rough day. Granted, week 2, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be just fine. But there's going to be a lot of teams that they play, a lot of quarterbacks that they play that are, they got cement shoes. So go after him, get in the backfield. Baker, he's a youngish, spryish guy. We've seen him be able to scramble, especially back in his college days a little bit. He's done it in the NFL a little bit. I will say the guy can take a hit. So he's a tough son of a gun. I think he's going to be fine in the long run for the game, but make him regret going out there to play quarterback. Get to him, put the pressure on.
Yeah, just do a repeat of the game that Artis went to. That's pretty much exactly what we want to see. One thing I'm really curious about, obviously, is Jordan Addison. I'm ready to see what this kid's got. I mean, I just got through pretty much all my fantasy drafts at this point, and he is definitely, by a decent amount, too, the universally ranked number 1 receiver of any of available rookies in fantasy this year over Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnston, and forgetting the other, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm ready to see what he's got. We've obviously been hyped up a ton the entire training camp and preseason about what this guy is going to be. But at the same time, though, I am also equally excited to see what KJ Osborne is going to do, not only in this game, but for the entire season. KJ is an unrestricted free agent next year. Don't know if he's going to be able to stay on the Vikings, obviously, with TJ's contract kicking in. Maybe we keep Danielle Hunter still, and obviously JJ's contract's coming in. So KJ is out to prove something for sure this year, because he definitely wants to get a multi-year, multi-million-dollar contract. And I think a lot of the wisdom right now amongst Vikings fans is that, even though right now KJ Osborne is listed as wide receiver 2 on the depth chart, I think we all just assume that Jordan Addison is going to overtake him at some point, just because we're so enamored with the potential that Jordan Addison has shown. And I'm just sitting here just kind of hoping that KJ is like, well, hold on now. I'm here too, rookie, and I'm here to do something about it, and I need to have a good season as well. So I know that we've talked about for a couple seasons now that we were all kind of hoping that KJ would emerge as an option to replace Adam Thielen. That really hasn't transpired in the way I think maybe a lot of Vikings fans had hoped, but I'm still sitting here kind of holding out a little bit of hope that KJ is still got a going off season on him, coming up for him right now. And
when you say, not to interrupt, when you say going off, what do you mean by going off? Like if you could throw some numbers out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at what his numbers are last year, and I don't have them in front of me at the moment. I can pull them up actually right here.
I'll figure
it out. Are you talking 1,000 yards going off, or are you talking 800?
At this point,
6 touchdowns?
At this point, he is only peaked at 655. I'd like to get him to 1,000 this year, especially if he's a wide receiver 2. I'd like him to get to 1,000 this year, and let's tack on an extra 20 receptions on there as well. He had 60 in his rookie season, 50 the year before. I'd like to get that into the 70s this year, and I'd like to get 1,000 yards. Yeah, I think he has it in him. I think he has the potential to do it. I definitely think he wants to do it. Don't have a ton of indication if that's going to happen. I'm just kind of sitting here hoping that's going to happen. But, you know, a lot of football players get motivated when there's a guy behind you. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, the draft plays out as it is, and, you know, teams are always going to draft for potential to build up their teams and everything like that. So that's just a reality of what professional football players have to deal with. And I think KJ is a professional. I think he's going to handle it with class. And again, I'm really, really just hoping that he is just going to have a takeoff season. And I would love to have that happen here in week 1 because, frankly, I mean, the Buccaneers got a pretty good secondary as is. Obviously, Minnesota's own Antoine Winfield's back there. He's a fantastic safety in his own right and everything. So I think JJ is going to be blanketed pretty good in this game. I mean, I think JJ will get 100 yards, but I don't know if he's going to like really go off or anything like that. So I think KJ has a great opportunity to really establish himself in this first game and just really put a vice grip on that wide receiver 2 position. That is what I'm really hoping for most out of this offense. And I also hope TJ's okay. I hope he's gotten back into the swing of things. Obviously, dealing with the ear infection, back issues, maybe some other things as well. I hope that the team has gotten him into the fold and everything like that, and he is game ready. He did a press conference like the other day, and he said, "Yeah, I'm going to be just fine," and I would imagine he's going to be just fine as well. Gentlemen, should we, actually predict this game now? Put our money where our mouth is, and actually give a tally here of what we think is going to happen. Obviously, based off the vibes, I think it's fair to say that we might be leaning towards the Vikings in this game. But I suppose we can start with Artis. Artis, what is the final score? Week 1, Buccaneers versus Vikings.
Artis, you won like the pick'em thing last year, right? For the show?
No, actually, I think I came in last place.
Did you really?
I think I did. I think I came in last place. I started hot. That's what it was. I started like not missing a game. And then out of nowhere, man, it just kind of flipped. I can't really explain what happened.
I can explain. The Eagles were really good. And you were distracted, and your heart and soul wasn't completely committed to the Minnesota Vikings, even though it should be. Come on. And so I totally get it. If the Eagles were bad last year, you probably would have finished first. Let's be real.
You might be right about that. I won't say too distracted, but, let's just say I underestimated the Vikings. I had people calling me crazy and some other names that I won't repeat for the YouTube audience and all the other audiences listening. And then that kind of got to me. I'm like, I'm picking them to lose every game. So that's kind of how it went. But I'm not doing that this year. And it starts with this week. They might not like the record I have for the Vikings to end the season. But for this game, I honestly think as long as you can get pressure on Baker Mayfield, and you run the ball effectively against that defense, which should open up the pass offense even more, I think you smoke Tampa. I really do. I'd say 28 at least. I'd say 28-7.
Okay. Whoa. Actually, though, dang, man.
I love it.
28-7.
Bum,
28. I think they should. Like I said, I won't disrespect their Tampa's defense. I do respect their defense, but I think they played with a little extra juice when they had Tom Brady playing like Tom Brady. Last season didn't look great because he didn't play like how we're accustomed to seeing him play. But I think when Tom Brady was playing like Brady, they played with a little extra juice that I'm not sure they're going to have this season. Like you said, they may decide to tank, honestly. And if Baker Mayfield comes out first couple plays of the game, if he turns the ball over, if he's getting sacked, if he gets frustrated out there and the offense isn't moving in the way that you would like to see the offense move as a Buccaneer player, I could see them just kind of just like being like, this is just what this season is gonna be. That's just kind of it's tough to say players are gonna pack it in that early, but defenses play more motivated when they have a guy on the other end that could put up points, and I think they will find out really early that Baker's not putting up points. They should find out early that Baker's not putting up points. If he is putting up points early, all bets are off. Wow. Because I don't want to play from behind against that defense, against that secondary. I don't want that.
28-7. Wow.
28-7.
I respect the heck out of that.
I like it. I think that they are going to win. However, I have a little more faith in Tampa's offense at the start of the game. I think they're going to score, and it's going to be early, only because it's week 1. It's a new defensive coordinator. And I'm not saying that the guys aren't able to like it's just the new coordinator. You know, you're trying all this new stuff. I think it's going to take them a quarter and a half maybe to actually like settle in and get the schemes and whatnot that they've game planned for the entire summer now. So I think Vikings 28, Tampa Bay 17.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. All right. You're both hitting the 28 mark. Okay, cool. Yeah, I expect some growing pains, at least for sure in the first half with the defense a little bit. I like you guys. I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa scored early. Even if it's just like field goals and stuff like that, I wouldn't be surprised if like Tampa just was able to, chip away with points in some capacity in the first half. Yeah, because I mean, there's going to be plenty of nerves, even though you're playing at home, the crowd's behind you and everything like that. You got a lot of young guys in that secondary, so spotlight's going to feel pretty bright for them. That's totally fine. It's meant to, young men. And so, but I also expect the Vikings offense to also, keep pace with them as well. Just because even though, yes, Tampa might be a little bit more locked down on defense to start the game, I still expect the Vikings to run the ball pretty efficiently. I am a firm believer that Alexander Mattison will be able to do pretty much just as much as the same things that Dalvin Cook was able to do last season. Still think there's plenty of value Dalvin Cook. I would have been open to keeping him on the team, but salary wasn't going to work out. I expect Mattison to have a pretty thorough game, maybe not quite 100 yards, but maybe in like the 80, 90 range. That'd be pretty great. Again, KJ, come on, man. Have an awesome game here in week 1. I'm rooting for you, man. I really am. But I expect Jordan Addison to get in the fold as well. Maybe, 3 or 4 catches, something like that. But yeah, Vikings offense will keep pace. And but I expect Tampa to also still stay in this game a little bit. Vikings were notorious for keeping games close last year. I don't think they'll be as notorious this year, but there's still going to be plenty of sweat to be had, Vikings fans. So I'm going to say a final score with your Minnesota Vikings winning the ball game 24 to, how about we say 20? 24-20, your Minnesota Vikings take down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, but yeah, if they lose this game, I mean, we go, what's the DEF CON rankings again? We went over this a couple weeks ago. DEF CON 1 is like the ultimate, we're ready to go.
Nuclear warfare.
Nuclear war, yeah. That'll be the case.
It will be a rough week 1 loss. Yes. I mean, a lot of season, a lot of football left to play, obviously, but... And, the schedule's tough, but, these games, every game is winnable when you have an offense that can put up points like the Vikings offense can put up points. It's going to fall on that defense, man. Like, what does Brian Flores have cooking? That's what it's – and I expect him to make adjustments that the previous DC did not make mid-game in mid-season and playoffs. So I think a lot of it is going to fall on the defense, even if they lose this week 1 matchup, which they should not lose.
No. They can't afford to because – dilly, here comes Philly, week 2. And how come we're playing you guys week 2?
Here comes Philly.
Well, I didn't coin that. No, I think a beer company that did that one.
Oh, man, I haven't heard that.
But, man, we got to play you guys week 2 again. That just is...
In Philly again.
I know, but that and it's a night game again, too. It's just we can't seem to escape those prime time singular matchups against Philadelphia, and just be nice to any Vikings fans there, Philly fans. That's all I ask is just let's be nice to them. But I know you guys probably won't because you guys boost. What do you guys don't like Santa Claus?
Do you hear the words coming out of your mouth? You're asking
Unfortunately,
Philadelphia fans to be nice.
I know, and this is getting published to YouTube. Whoops.
If you're not bleeding eagle green, they're gonna throw batteries at you.
Batteries.
Oh my gosh.
Go birds! What a birds!
Hey, it's tough.
No,
you have to go out there.
It's
I want to go out there for a game this year.
But
just
city of brotherly love.
just wear a little purple, maybe on the side. Try to disguise it a little.
The only thing that can be purple is your underwear because nobody's seeing that. So, wear a neutral gray shirt, black coat over top if it's gonna be chilly. And then, you keep to yourself. You murmur under your breath, like, yeah, the boy Kirk, way to go, Kirky. Otherwise, when somebody's like, what did you say? You want a beer? You want a beer? I'm getting beer.
Right.
Sure.
Pretty much.
Sure. Yeah. You keep your comments to yourself.
be really fun to get like a box seat at like Lincoln Financial Field and like fill it with like opposing fans and like have the glass like everything like that, and you can just like troll them the whole time, even though they're well, no, you got the glass. You got the glass there to prevent anything getting thrown at your face.
What you're failing to realize, Jason, is they have to walk to their vehicles as well. They have to walk to their transportation. They have to leave the stadium. And some Philly fans are. They're going to see you outside the stadium as well. So as an Eagles fan, that hasn't been a Lincoln Financial Field, that is a respectable Eagles fan, that is not throwing batteries. I might be a little rowdy, but I'm not throwing batteries and all that.
Not yet.
Not yet. As a fan, I would just recommend exactly what AJ said. Just hey, go Kirk. Hey, just chill. There's some cool Eagles fans out there that'll, as long as you're chill, just chill. Just don't overdo it. Don't make it obvious, and try to sit amongst other Vikings fans. That's what
I got love for the class Eagles fans that I met at the Super Bowl. I was wearing a Vikings shirt and I bought 3 beers by Eagles fans who were already a little inebriated at the time. They're just like, hey man, we were all charging our phones or whatever because we wanted to just take a ton of videos and pictures. They had a ton of charging stations. They're just like, hey man, like, sorry for the way our fans act and everything. That doesn't represent all of us. Here's a beer. I'm like, great. These are really expensive because it's the Super Bowl. I will absolutely take it. You are classy. Stay classy, Philadelphia. Anyway, gentlemen, the debut of the SKOR North Taxi Squad on YouTube, I think, was a rousing success. Please
wait.
What?
One last thing. Is everybody sticking with their early season predictions as far as?
Yes. Let's see. I actually got it pulled up right now. I said we'd beat Tampa, so that's good. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to it.
Do you have it up, AJ?
I have it on my phone right here. Okay. On the camera.
Otherwise, there we go. I got it.
Okay.
Let me run through. You guys talk and stall, and I'll figure it out.
Okay. Yeah. AJ's record. We did this back in May, by the way, everybody. When the schedule first was announced, we just did a schedule breakdown for that week. AJ had us going 10-7. I also had us going 10-7. Artis had us going 9-8 though. Like, yo, bro, come on now.
I might try to flip one game just to match you guys so that everybody's not
come
like,
on. No,
Artis is an idiot.
Oh, no.
The names
you
I
can
was called.
stand.
But
man. You don't have to
I stand on my.
Stand with the crowd.
What did Carl Anthony Towns say? 10 toes down.
It's like a movie.
10 toes down.
It's like a movie.
I'm gonna.
YouTube's like a movie.
I'm gonna stay 10 toes down. And all of these. Some of these I kind of look at again like, that might have been a tough one to pick a L for, but I'm gonna stay committed to everything that I said. 9-8. I just think the rest of the division this year is a lot better than it was last year. But again, if the Vikings defense can be, let's say, top 17, the Vikings, they'll probably win 12, 13 games again. But their defense has to be substantially better.
Yeah, no doubt. I got... I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to it.
AJ's questioning it.
I'm going to stick to
it. I might move down to 9-8.
Oh, haters going to hate.
Join the squad. Join the team.
Now I'm all alone.
I have some games I would flip for sure because the main one is I think Philly week 2. I originally picked that as a win.
You did.
I think that's going to be a loss. But then down the road, I picked a loss at Denver. Denver's going to be not great, I feel like. So I'm going to say a win there, but then I'm also going to flip back. And I said they would win both games against Green Bay. I think week 8 against Green Bay is going to be a loss.
I pick that too? I think I got them splitting with Green Bay. Oh, no, I got them winning both games against Green Bay.
Yeah, I got split with Green Bay.
I got them getting swept by
I'm going to say 9-8. 9-8.
All right. I mean, obviously, are we allowed to have our predictions change throughout the season?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If Patrick Mahomes isn't playing for the Chiefs, we can pick the Vikings in that game, right?
In the preview for the game, of course.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
That being said, I reserve the right if I get this spot on 100% to come back and be like I'm a genius. This guy knows all.
Yes. Here. I mean, the comment section on YouTube may think otherwise. They'll probably still hold us accountable for what we're saying today throughout the entire season. And you know what? Go right ahead. That's fine. That's what the comment section is for. Gentlemen,
really
sorry,
quick.
go ahead.
I think my favorite thing that I just saw now, 3-4 months late, Norm says, was AJ over a .08 when he picked week 2? the win against Philly.
Oh,
that's great. No, I was stone cold sober.
So were you?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you're recording at home, had a beverage. Like I hope many of our viewers had a nice cold beverage today. You know, it's allowed.
Don't worry. Listen, AJ, I was crucified last year for my pick. Oh, it got bad. It got really bad, man. And then I went on that loser streak. I predicted like 4 or 5 straight games I didn't get right. It was like, this guy is freaking all kind of names. So don't even. Hey, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, it does. So. Again, gentlemen, thank our YouTube debut, rousing success. Please like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff on the SKOR North YouTube channel. We, again, are so thankful for just being able to do this. So shout out to Phil, Judd, Declan, Dan Seaman, all you guys. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. And this has been a lot of fun. Yes, AJ?
I've always wanted to do this.
Yes.
Now that we're on YouTube. Make sure to click that subscribe button and click that bell icon down below so you get notified as soon as we post our next video. Thanks for checking us out. the most classic, like the
YouTuber
fundamental
phrase.
YouTuber, like, thanks guys, check it, like, yeah. Got y'all.
Thanks for watching. See ya. Oh my God, we're here. We're doing it for you, gentlemen. Any final thoughts before we depart on this
Vikings journey? Let's go. Get that week 1 dub.
Looking forward to a great season, man. That's it. It should be a very fun and entertaining season. This division is going to get spicy, very spicy. And if the Bears just so happen to win a lot of games, remember, who told you so? That will be this guy.
Oh,
I told you so.
Okay.
So just saying. Just saying.
Sure.
You know.
All right. I guess my final words, Minnesota Twins, thank you for pretty much wrapping up the AL Central in Cleveland this week. You lost today, but that's okay. It looks, I mean, that 20-6 victory, I mean, Cleveland pretty much gave up. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, we talk Twins sometimes here too. As the postseason kind of gets along too, the Twins will definitely be into the conversation for sure. Anyway, thank you again so much for joining us on our debut here on the SKOR North YouTube channel. This is the SKOR North Taxi Squad for Jason Stormer, Artis Woods, AJ Fredrickson. We thank you so much for listening and watching. We'll talk to you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.